Welcome to StoicAdvanceWomen, where we challenge outdated dating beliefs and empower high-value growth. What is the nice guy syndrome? Nice guy syndrome is a mindset and behavior pattern rooted in the false belief that if I'm a good guy, if I do everything right, if I'm selfless and pleasing, women will love me, and they'll never leave. Men with this mindset often avoid expressing their real needs, preferences, or emotions. Feel anxious about setting boundaries, fearing they'll seem mean or selfish. Overextend themselves to avoid rejection. Suppress anger, frustration, or sexual desire to appear safe and non-threatening. Constantly seek validation from women to feel worthy. The problem is, this dynamic doesn't create real intimacy. It creates resentment, confusion, and emotional disconnection, both for the man and the woman involved. Let's break down the consequences of nice guy syndrome. The hidden costs of being the nice guy. When you habitually overgive and underexpress, a few predictable things start to happen. Women lose respect. Subconsciously, women sense a lack of leadership and emotional depth. You become predictable, overly agreeable, and uninspiring. You suppress your authenticity. You live in a state of quiet frustration, always trying to be what others want, never allowing yourself to just be. You attract emotionally unhealthy dynamics. You attract partners who take advantage, or who themselves are seeking validation rather than connection. You burn out emotionally. You give endlessly, hoping for reciprocal love, but it never comes, not because people are cruel, but because you're not giving from a place of wholeness. You become a man who trades truth for approval. And truthfully, no one respects a man who betrays himself to please others. That's what changes today. Chapter 2, Rewriting the Nice Guy Blueprint. We're not going to teach you to become a bad boy. That's not the solution. What we're going to build is your core masculinity, not toxic, not performative, but rooted in strength, presence, clarity, and emotional honesty. That's the kind of man who becomes a magnet to emotionally available, high-quality women. We're going to walk through 4 core transformations that will take you out of the nice guy trap and into the life and love you're worthy of. Mastering your boundaries. Learning to please yourself first. Becoming assertive with confidence. Asking for what you want without fear. Let's break each one down in full detail, with real-world examples, mindset shifts, and practices to implement right away. Chapter 3, Mastering Your Boundaries, the Foundation of Attraction. Let's start with the core of masculine energy, boundaries. Boundaries are not walls. They're not ultimatums. They're not punishments. They are clear, conscious limits you create that define what is and isn't okay in your world. Boundaries are how you teach people how to treat you, in love, at work, in friendships, everywhere. Without boundaries, you become like a sponge, soaking up other people's moods, expectations, requests, and disappointments. You say yes when you mean no. You agree just to keep the peace. You smile through discomfort. And over time, this erodes your self-respect. How to identify where your boundaries are weak? Ask yourself. Do I feel drained after interactions where I couldn't say no? Do I feel guilty when I prioritize my own needs? Do I find myself holding resentment toward people I've said yes to? If so, you're likely lacking solid boundaries, and that's exactly where your work begins. Signs you're developing stronger boundaries. You can say no without over-explaining. You check in with yourself before agreeing to things. You stop abandoning yourself for the sake of harmony. You feel emotionally safer, even if others don't always agree with you. Boundary setting is not a confrontation. It's an act of self-leadership. Practical boundary exercise. Start small. Say, "Let me think about it," when someone asks you for your time, energy, or resources. Practice declining invitations or favors you don't feel aligned with. Write down your non-negotiables in relationships. Stick to them. Remember, every time you uphold a boundary, you build trust in yourself. And that self-trust is magnetic. Chapter 4, Learn to Please Yourself First. Most nice guys live externally, always trying to meet others' needs, hoping to be rewarded with love. But true attraction begins when you live internally, knowing your desires, honoring your needs, and pursuing what lights you up. Women are drawn to men who have a full, self-sourced life, not empty shells hoping to be filled by a partner's attention. Let's explore what it looks like to become your own source of joy. Why self-pleasure matters. We're not just talking about physical pleasure. We're talking about emotional, spiritual, and creative fulfillment. Men who don't please themselves resent their partners for not making them happy, lose touch with their individuality, abandon passions, creativity, and drive. On the other hand, men who prioritize personal joy become more confident and centered, create a sense of abundance in their lives, become less needy, and therefore more attractive. Create your joy blueprint. Ask yourself, what activities energize and fulfill me, outside of relationships? When do I feel most alive, most myself? What dreams or hobbies have I suppressed for the sake of being available? Then, do them. Yes, even if you're in a relationship. Especially if you're in a relationship. You don't stop being you just because you're with someone. In fact, the more you water your own soul, the more you have to bring to the table. Chapter 5, Becoming Assertive with Confidence. If there is one critical shift that separates the nice guy from the grounded, high-value man, it is assertiveness. But let's be clear about something right now. Assertiveness is not aggression. Too many men fear that speaking up for themselves, voicing a desire, disagreeing, or pushing back, will make them seem rude, controlling, or worse, toxic. They've been taught that good men keep the peace, avoid confrontation, and go with the flow. But here's the irony. True peace comes from presence and truth, not passive agreement. You don't earn respect by staying quiet. You earn it by standing rooted in your truth without needing to overpower or manipulate. What assertiveness really means. Assertiveness is the confident expression of your thoughts, feelings, and needs, with respect for both yourself and others. It sounds like, I don't agree, and here's why. I'm not available tonight, but I appreciate the invite. That crossed a boundary for me. Let's talk about it. This is what I want. These statements don't make you the bad guy. They make you clear, reliable, and trustworthy, the exact traits women crave in a secure man. Why nice guys struggle with assertiveness? Let's talk psychology for a moment. Nice guys were often raised in environments where conflict was dangerous or scary. Love had to be earned by being good. Speaking up led to punishment or rejection. So they learned to stay quiet, avoid rocking the boat, and meet others' needs before their own. As adults, they confuse harmony with self-erasure, and then wonder why no one truly sees or respects them. How to reclaim your voice. Start by noticing discomfort. If something bothers you but you bite your tongue, pause. Ask, what am I afraid will happen if I speak up? Practice micro-assertiveness. Start small. Say no to a favor you don't want to do. Speak up if your food order is wrong. Give your actual opinion instead of defaulting to "I'm fine with anything." Use I statements. Speak from your own experience. I feel, I need, I believe. Avoid blaming language. Assertiveness is about ownership, not accusation. Slow down your response time. Many nice guys react quickly to avoid discomfort. Breathe. Pause. Let your emotions surface. You're allowed to think before you respond. The magnetic power of a grounded voice. When you start speaking your truth calmly and confidently, the world listens. More importantly, you start listening to yourself. You build self-trust. You stop living in fear of rejection. You become a man who can lead with strength and sensitivity. And that balance? That's pure emotional gold. Chapter 6, Ask for what you want without fear. Here's the next major shift. Stop expecting your partner to read your mind. Stop hoping that your needs will be met just because you've been nice enough. This is one of the biggest traps that nice guys fall into, and it's devastating for relationships. Why you struggle to ask. If you've been conditioned to believe that asking is selfish or burdensome, then of course you're hesitant to speak up. But in reality, asking for what you want is not selfish. Suppressing your desires leads to silent resentment. Clear requests create healthy, mature, and lasting relationships. The cost of staying silent. When you don't ask, you become passive-aggressive, hoping she'll just know what you need. You feel neglected and unseen. You become bitter, even though you've never clearly stated what you want. And eventually, the relationship breaks down, not because of incompatibility, but because of invisibility. How to ask with confidence and respect. Get clear on your need. If you don't know what you want, how can anyone else? Detach from outcome. Asking doesn't guarantee a yes. That's okay. It's not about control, it's about expression. Use this format: I would love it if. Example. I'd love it if we could have one night a week just for us, no phones. Don't apologize for your desires. Own them. Your needs matter. And if someone repeatedly shames or ignores them, that's the real red flag, not your voice. Empowered masculinity speaks up. Men who are grounded in their masculinity ask, express, and clarify. They don't expect partners to be psychic. They lead through clarity and vulnerability. And that creates something rare, emotional intimacy. That's where real love lives. Chapter 7, From Nice to Noble, the Masculine Shift. Let's be clear, we are not villainizing kindness. We are redefining it. Kindness is powerful. But kindness without strength is charity. And charity, in relationships, often turns into manipulation, a giving that secretly demands something in return. Instead, we want to move toward nobility. What is noble masculinity? Noble masculinity is the balance of three powerful qualities. Integrity: you say what you mean. You do what you say. You live in alignment with your values, even when no one is watching. Presence: you're here, fully. Emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You don't run from intensity, you breathe through it. Power: with humility, you lead, but never dominate. You express, but never impose. You remain open without losing your center. This is what women truly long for, even if they can't articulate it. Chapter 8, The Stoic Advance Mindset, a Legacy Beyond Attraction. At StoicAdvanceWomen, we don't teach shortcuts or tricks. We teach transformations. When you overcome nice guy syndrome, it's not just about getting the girl. It's about reclaiming your masculinity. Owning your desires. Speaking your truth. Living a life where your needs, emotions, and values actually matter. You stop trying to earn love, and start embodying it. This is what it means to be an evolved man. Not a predator. Not a pushover. But a pillar. You don't chase. You choose. You don't beg. You build. You don't wait to be picked. You walk in as the chooser. Chapter 9, Action Steps. Your next 30 days. Here's your mission for the next 30 days. Week 1, Build awareness. Journal every time you say yes when you mean no. Write down one boundary you wish you had set this week. Notice where in your body you feel resentment or frustration. Week 2, Assert one truth. Speak up once where you normally would stay silent. Use an I statement to express how you feel. Practice saying no to one non-essential demand on your time. Week 3, Reclaim pleasure. Block out 2 hours to do something just for you. Revisit an old passion or hobby. Reflect, what makes you come alive, regardless of anyone's approval. Week 4, Ask clearly. Make one clear request in your romantic life. Don't hint. Don't wait. Just ask, openly, calmly, cleanly. Reflect on how you feel afterward: proud? Liberated? Scared? All normal. Chapter 10, Final Words, From Invisible to Irresistible. You don't need to become someone else. You don't need to harden your heart or fake indifference. You just need to stop hiding the man you truly are beneath layers of fear, performance, and perfectionism. Stop finishing last by finally choosing yourself first. And from that place of internal wholeness, you'll be surprised at how the world, and women, respond differently. Not because you've become someone new, but because you've returned to someone real. Outro, like, share and step into your power. If this video spoke to you, drop a comment and tell us what resonated most. Hit that like button if you're done being the passive nice guy, and ready to step into grounded, powerful masculinity. And if you want more content like this, honest, transformational, and rooted in growth, make sure to subscribe. Here at StoicAdvanceWomen, we don't teach gimmicks. We build legacies. Until next time, walk with strength, speak with truth, and love with depth.